All right, folks, what is it, Monday? Monday evening. Welcome aboard our emergency live trade brief. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Whiz. If you're new to Top Gun Options, welcome aboard. We're going to have a great time tonight knocking this out because it is an emergency. Well, it's an emergency to some folks that are checking in tonight. After the past couple weeks, maybe a month or so of emails, texts, phone calls, dudes I haven't talked to in 40 years from high school, like, hey man, no, we haven't talked in a couple decades, but what do I do with my 401k? So kind of feel bad for a lot of folks. So that's what we do here at Top Gun Options. We put the ladder down to help people out. We're having an absolute blast trading this market. And if you're not, unfortunately, you've been doing it wrong. And fortunately, you are here tonight. Okay, so welcome aboard. Brief tonight. I'm going to go through some current market conditions, what the radar scope kind of looks like right now. Then we're going to look kind of downrange a little bit as well to see what's on the horizon. Hint, it's not good. A little bit of foreshadowing there. Going to introduce myself. Allow myself to introduce myself, a little Austin Powers. We'll go through my background, kind of what we're doing right now in a couple of areas. I'll brief you about what we do here at Top Gun Options. Then we're going to end with just some options basics, right? So kind of a welcome aboard brief, because tomorrow at 10 a.m. and then Wednesday at 10 a.m., I'm just going to open up the doors to my training squadron. You're going to get to attend regular live trade briefs with current Top Gun Options members. I'm not this 92 PowerPoint slide guy and hey, buy something. I'm a come see what we're currently doing guy, and you check it out, right? So we open up the doors to our squadron, and you can check out what we're doing here. Real quick, let me actually ask that then, because I kind of figure out how to gear my presentation tonight. So let me launch this real quick as people are still getting on board. How familiar are you with Top Gun Options? So let me know so I can kind of gear my presentation tonight and tomorrow and the next day, because I'm going to treat y'all just like you're a member, but I need to kind of know where you are. So just click on that and vote real quick, and then we can press forward. So, all right, about 70% current or former member, about 25% new. Those numbers are going up. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, couple more seconds here. Go ahead and vote. Awesome. So we got, I can close that, and 72% of you voted. So good. So about only 2% of you are new, which is great. Welcome aboard, especially if you're new to options. That's good news. This is a target-rich environment for an options trader, right? If you're a stock trader, you're getting destroyed right now in a crypto. I wouldn't say trader, I'd say crypto gambler. So we got somewhat people that are somewhat, and then I love when current and former members show up. That makes my heart smile because they're already here. Okay, real quick, like I said, tonight we're going to do a welcome aboard brief, and then tomorrow morning at 10, we'll go into the primary live trade brief, and then Wednesday at 10 a.m. accelerated retirement brief. You're registered for all three. If you're listening to me right now live, you got in here with that link. That link's going to work for the next two live trade briefs as well. So you're good to go. You don't have to re-register or anything like that. Okay. So real quick administrative items. You're in what's called GoToWebinar. At the top of the window kind of that you're viewing me at, there's a little camera at the top. If you want to take a picture of what's on the screen, I strongly recommend you got a piece of paper, take some notes and write stuff down, but you can also take a little picture of the screen and you'll be good to go. Since we have close to 1,000 people registered for these free briefs, I have to be in GoToWebinar, right? So you don't see each other's chat. I see your chat over here. When you're in Top Gun Options as a member, we use GoToTraining, where we can all see each other's chat, right? So we're in GoToWebinar right now. Make sure if you're new to options or you're somewhat familiar with Top Gun Options, you have got to open a paper trading account. Now, if you have a brokerage account somewhere right now, awesome. 99.9% probability that they have a paper trading capability. If you don't have a paper trading account, I strongly recommend you go to etrade.com/TopGun. What happened 36 years ago today? Now I'm going to date myself. 36 years ago today, what movie came out? Say it with me, baby. Top Gun. So this is the month of Top Gun. We got a lot of big stuff going on here, which I'll get to in a little bit. But open a paper trading account. Do not ever put any real capital at risk until you know what you're doing. I can't believe I actually have to say that, but I do have to say that. It was on the slide at the beginning, a disclaimer side. I'm saying it again. So the best thing to do, open a paper trading account at E-Trade. They give you 100 grand in monopoly money, so you can fire tactics. You can trade. You can see if something was going to work or what it isn't. Folks, I didn't leave reading a book on aerodynamics and run out to an F-18. I went to the simulator building, emergencies, fire, start checklist, landing aboard the ship. We did everything in the simulator before we got near a real airplane, folks, and it makes sense. So open a paper trading account so you can get familiar with trading options before you actually trade options for real, okay? And then if you can't, Whiz, I work Tuesday morning, I work Wednesday morning. I'm going to post everything on the replay page. So please make sure you bookmark this page. It's pretty easy to remember though. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. That stands for full throttle replay. Let me put this link in the chat box. Make sure you save that link and I will post the replay. As soon as we get done tonight, I'll post the replay up here. There are replays up here already. Where are they from, Whiz? Let's just scroll back. I'm going to keep these up here for the rest of my life. 3 February. Warning, the markets are set to implode. You know when this was? February 3rd, 2020. February 4th, dead bat bounce instead of a dead cat bounce. Bearish trades on China and Apple. Okay, check this one out. Get long, February 5th, get long volatility. Buy VIX calls. That's, you get bullish on volatility. Grab the popcorn and your mask. This was before Fauci even knew what a mask was and lied to us about wearing masks. Wow. 5 February, very bearish China trade. We did a bearish double vertical. Folks, we made millionaires with the COVID crash. Wrote a book about it. Now scroll up to the last time I did one of these briefs in January, 31 January of this year. Bear market, Biden, inflation, and war. This was January. War hadn't started. I predicted all of this. Excuse my French. I said I said this a year and a half ago. I forget the date. Joe Biden's sophomore year would be a train wreck, shit show, bear market, recession. Unfortunately, I'm going to be right, or fortunately, right with all these things. February, get long volatility now. Boom. Trudge for market implosion. Let's go take a look at what happened in February. Everybody, if you're here, you're probably here because what? You know what has been happening since we did those briefs. This. So, folks, sit up straight. Listen to me because we know what we're doing here at Top Gun Options. This isn't our first rodeo. I've been trading 32 years. I've been trading in the markets, folks. Very, very experienced and know what I'm doing. So let's take a look at something right here. Okay, current market condition. Anybody know what stock this is or market this is? You don't have to answer. Does this look like something you'd get bullish on or you think's going to go up? That's a pretty good looking chart, isn't it? You might not know anything about financial markets, but look at that. That looks like a pretty good chart. All right, give me a vertical head nod if you think that looks pretty good. That's a bullish chart. All right. Well, guess what that is? That's actually the S&P 500 upside down. This is currently what the S&P 500 looks like. This. Now, the reason, I didn't mean to trick you, but the reason I'm doing this is very, very simple. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere I go, I was at a charity event last night out in Coral Springs. Oh, you trade? Hit me with 1,000 questions. When is the market going to bottom? When's the bloodbath going to end? When can I jump back in, or should I get out? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going incredibly lower, so much lower, it's not even funny. S&P maybe 3,000 in a little bit. So look at this picture right here. If you haven't shifted what I call your strategic mindset to be bearish, what are you waiting for? We're going to get into all the reasons why we are going lower, and it's self-inflicted. Jerome Powell did this. Ben Bernanke did this, the former Fed chief. These guys caused the fire, and now they're running up to it with gasoline, trying to put it out. So current market condition sucks unless you know what you're doing, right? War in Europe. Former military F-18 pilot, Navy officer, still got a lot of buddies wearing the uniform. War in Europe is going to get incredibly worse. I don't want this prediction to be right. It most likely will be right, especially when Russian state media last week said it. Vladimir Putin will start World War III before he loses in Ukraine. I predict that Vladimir Putin will use tactical nuclear weapons or chemical or biological weapons in Ukraine. How do you think the S&P 500 is going to do breaking news on the bottom third of the TV screen? The VIX will be at 100 and the S&P will be down at 2,000. Raging inflation and the Federal Reserve that's failing miserably. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fed jumped in to save capitalism in 2008. I was in the Chicago Board of Trade when this happened. Here comes Ben Bernanke throwing, remember, Occupy Wall Street, too big to fail? Remember they bailed out all the big banks? You didn't get bailed out, but they got bailed out, right? We'll never do that again. COVID crash. Jerome Powell, the current Fed chief, flew in March of 2020 and dropped the biggest financial nuke and kept dropping bombs. This is all self-inflicted. Jerome Powell on Thursday or Friday on NPR finally admitted, yeah, we kind of failed. I'm probably not going to be able to land this plane safely. And he used the word pain. There's pain ahead. We nailed this, folks. There is a recession coming. Most likely we're in one. Remember, I think the definition of a recession is 3 consecutive quarters of negative growth. We just had one. We're going to have another one and another one. So after 3 of those, the government goes, yeah, we officially entered a recession all the way back there. I'm predicting that we're already in one, folks. Remember, a recession is when your neighbor loses their job, and a depression is when you lose yours. If we do not unfornicate ourselves, will enter a very severe recession. Okay? War in Asia. What are you talking about, Whiz? First of all, China will take Taiwan, whether by force or by 5th generation warfare, soft force. So Asia is going to heat up here. But China right now, folks, is imploding. They're locked down, like Shanghai, 25 million people. You walk outside, dude's throwing you in the back of a van, never to be seen again. They're shut down. They're one of our largest trading partners, folks. You want to talk about supply chain issues? It hasn't even started yet, okay? So all of this, ladies and gentlemen, says, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how is the play? Whiz, I need to eject out of this market. If everything that I just read you on that last slide scares you, you're doing it wrong. On that last slide, makes me smile. Now, I'm going to say this in a little bit. I have to say this right now, just so you don't think I'm some sort of sociopath, like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. Folks, I have a soul. I'll tell you how I feel as American, as Whiz, but I'm talking to you right now as Gordon Gekko. My job is to teach you how to profit as other people panic. If we're down here because of the stupidity of the Fed and the central and Joe Biden, just all this, I'm going to make money off of it. I feel horrible about Ukraine. I feel bad. If we calculated inflation the way we used to, of course the government changed the way we calculate it, just like they changed the definition of a vaccine. That thing was a therapeutic. No, we just changed the definition of it. So now it is a vaccine. Oh, okay. That's great. So I I empathize with all of this stuff, folks, but just like Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, hey man, you want a friend, get a dog. I'm here to teach you how to profit as others freak out. How are we doing? We, and actually this slide's wrong because I did these slides as the market was still open. You can add $2,000 to this. Month to date, we are up in one portfolio $37,000, pounding the S&P 500 into the dirt. Men lie, numbers don't. Oops, I just closed that one. Let me reopen it. So there we go. Here's one trade today. This was one trade on the S&P 500 right here. This trade made $2,200 in hours today. Okay. See, there's the order right there. Let me open the other one though. Hold on. Let me show you my other account. Because men lie, numbers don't. Let me get back in here and show you this trade as well. Open my E-Trade. There we go. Printing money. Yeah, we got a ton of these S&P 500 trades that we've been knocking out. Right there, folks. Let me go. Boom. One trade today, $2,400 in this portfolio. Right there. Men lie, numbers don't. How many of you would have loved to have made $2,400 today? Or $2,100? What's that? $4,500 we made today on two S&P 500 trades. Take a look at how the S&P did today. You want to talk about a roller coaster ride? I call it the heart rate monitor. Beep, 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 and then slam into the close. This has been like shooting fish in a barrel, folks. If you have no idea what I'm doing or what I'm trading or anything like that, that's why you're here tonight. If you look at a chart like that and go, oh my God, how do you make money off of that thing? Welcome aboard, because I'm going to teach you. But again, men lie, numbers don't. $37,000-ish, pounding this market into the dirt. So the first thing that you've learned tonight is you can make money as the market's going down with options. Now, if you're sitting here going, well, a friend of mine told me options are dangerous, your friend's an idiot and a fool. Options are no less dangerous than stocks and definitely less dangerous than crypto, Luna, right? So we're going to talk about all of this stuff tonight. I'm going to put the ladder down and help you guys out. This is, look at you, Doug just wrote in there over $10,000 this week. That's awesome, man. Nice job, Doug. All right, so no distractions. Hockey's done. Panthers tomorrow night, Lightning. I can't wait. Battle of Florida again, so no hockey's on tonight. I'm excited so I can do this emergency live trade briefs because I want to help everybody out. Okay, I promise. I'm going to give you tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday an up-to-date intelligence brief. You have got to know what's going on around the globe, the United States, and then tactically in your portfolio before you can do anything. A lot of you are very tactical traders, man. You just looking right here and you're not looking down range, and that's why you fail. I'm going to train you how to employ options. They're very basic. Everybody in this room has traded an option. No, I haven't. Yeah, you have. And I'm going to tell you why you've traded an option. So get ready. Show you what we're targeting for max profit and then how to turn that panic into profit. I got to be honest with you. When you saw that chart of the S&P 500 falling off a cliff, between us ladies, I'm here to tell you that that's not panic selling. You haven't seen panic yet. Panic is coming. And I love panic as an options trader. Remember, as an options trader, we're an insurance company. When's the best time to buy insurance in South Florida? When it's not hurricane season and it's a beautiful day out. When's the last time or the worst time to buy hurricane insurance? When there's a Cat 5 over the Bahamas, right? So we're going to take advantage of all of that. Now, not all doom and gloom. Markets over time go up, period. Now, when there's a bottom in this market, it won't be a V recovery. It's not going to be like the COVID crash, folks, because Jerome Powell and the Fed, remember, we imploded in the COVID crash and then we went straight up, essentially. Why? Because of the Fed. That nuclear bomb that they dropped here is why we're going down now, because of the radioactive fallout from the Fed. Still up until last week, the Fed was buying assets, man. It's insane. But what am I getting at? On Wednesday, I'm going to show you my target. I got my bullish market target list up on my whiteboard, man. I know when the all clear happens, I'm going to jump in and buy with both hands. There are so many incredibly great companies that are on sale right now that aren't going out of business. Okay. So I'll show you those names on Wednesday. Okay. Real quick, I hate talking about me. So enough. If you don't know me, for the handful of relatively new folks, Matthew Buckley, my call sign's Whiz. I flew the F-18 Hornet for the Navy, graduated from Top Gun as an adversary pilot, did some combat sorties over Iraq. Applied everything that I learned as a fighter pilot to my options trading. Right, as soon as I got commissioned as an officer in the Navy and went down to Naval Air Station Key West, Florida, I put $25 into a USAA mutual fund, man. I knew back then that, first of all, you don't join the Navy to get rich, but I needed to look into investing. After wasting money on a mutual fund, going, why am I paying somebody to pick stocks for me when my girlfriend at the time kept Ann Taylor in business and I paid the American Express bill? First two stocks I bought. Short story long, man, it took off from there. I was trading on active duty as other guys were in the ready room, talking about sports. I'm over there reading the Wall Street Journal or trading. But Top Gun Options actually came about because of a tragedy. 9/11 was supposed to be my first flight as a pilot for American Airlines. I was living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I also flew F-18s in a reserve squadron there. Saw the airplanes hit, raced out to Naval Air Station Fort Worth as they shut it down and went to a combat posture, and I ended up manning a combat air patrol with some F-16s from the Air Force Reserve. Just an absolute surreal experience for me, man. I went from potentially flying in an airliner that day to shooting one down. It was horrific. A week later, or whenever it was, I got a photocopied letter from American Airlines HR saying I was furloughed. I didn't have a job. Out of a job, man. Young wife, young son. Man, I needed to get serious. So I focused full time on my trading, and it worked incredibly well. It ain't rocket surgery, folks. Everything that I'm going to teach you that I've applied as a fighter pilot to my trading is common sense. But everybody in this room probably knows that common sense ain't exactly so common in the world. So eventually I popped up on the radar of one of the largest options trading firms in the world, headquartered right there in the beautiful Chicago Board of Trade, the CBOT. That was our trading firm right there. Big, beautiful trading windows right at the intersection of Jackson and LaSalle for all the folks that are from Chicago. Helped build a hedge fund of all our volatility arbitrage hedge fund while I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage options house, which is now E-Trade. And man, I just had an absolute blast. I laugh. I tell people I was Valentine. I was Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. Two rich white people kind of making a bet on me, going from being a little lowly retail trader. But man, I got to tell you, we are the smart money. There is no such thing as the smart money. I saw an article the other day, Kathy Wood, right, from ARK Investments, legendary investor or star investor, whatever they called her. She's down 75% year to date. How about all the star and legendary investors who during the COVID crash all the way down told you that's the bottom? Oh, I'd nibble here. Oh, I'd be a buyer. All the way down, those guys got it wrong. I got it right. And I called the bottom when Jerome Powell dropped the nuke. Those guys didn't. They're like, no, we're going to retest the lows. We didn't look back. There's no such thing as smart money, folks. And if there is, we at Top Gun Options are the smart money. So as the managing director of strategy, multi-billion-dollar firm, started my own company up there called the Options News Network, kind of the CNBC for options. And it was just great. No offense to anybody from Chicago. You can keep it. February, walking from the Union Station to the Board of Trade is a survival situation, and you can keep it, man. I'm a Navy guy. I need a beach and warm, so moved down here in 2009 to God's Waiting Room, Boca Raton, and started my own company. So Top Gun Options, 13 years. Trained, I lost count. This is an old metric. We might even be like 15,000 investors, customers in the past 13 years. We've just had an absolute blast. And as a result of the COVID crash, market crash, we started 2 investment clubs. Might even call them their own hedge fund, man. The Max Afterburner and the Hunters. We could talk about that some other time, but that's what Top Gun Options is based on. Over on the left side of the fence, we do training. Get a paper trading account, open it so we can play around with options. And then these are our services. We have one called Solo Amazon, where we just trade Amazon. We did a trade on Amazon today that's already up about $500. If you looked when I brought up my screen a couple minutes ago, we have a charting service from an F-14 Tomcat guy called Tomcat Charts. And then this emergency brief is, if you're interested, on Wednesday, I'll tell you how to get into what's called full throttle to teach you how to trade options. On the other side of the fence, we have execution, right? You train, then you go get airborne. If you really want to get airborne, we have two investment clubs. One is called the Hunters, and the lifetime equivalent to that is called Max Afterburner. So that's kind of what Top Gun Options looks like. Also wrote a couple books, From Sea Level to Sea Level, and then COVID Crash is my newest book, From Panic to Profit. We literally made millionaires out of little old ladies in tennis shoes, people like you. As this market imploded, we pounded it into the dirt. I remember, I still have the tweet. I saved it. Donald Trump, market's looking good here. Halfway down, Donald Trump's like, market, I'd be a buyer here. I'm like, why is the president tweeting about the stock market? The next day, the Dow went down 3,000 points. He deleted the tweet. I saved it. So COVID crash. I do some charity work down here in South Florida, the Broward Sheriff's Advisory Council, and then Mothers Against Drunk Driving. But my biggest, hopefully, achievement to date will be what's called the No Fallen Heroes Project. The No Fallen Heroes Foundation, No Fallen Heroes Project, founded to reduce veteran suicide. In the hour that you and I will talk tonight, a veteran will kill herself or himself. On average, 22 veterans a day kill themselves. It's a horror. It's a tragedy. It's a disgrace. And we're doing a documentary film actually in a couple weeks here. On May 28th, we're going to show kind of a little sneak preview of the No Fallen Heroes documentary, and then we're going to watch Maverick there. If you're interested, let's just do it. I want everybody right now. It's only, I think it's 3 minutes. We're going to take the next 3 minutes because I want to show you why. First of all, I get out of bed in the morning and teach people how to trade options. It puts a smile on my face. Now I feel bad because people are getting hurt, but it's going to make me smile even more that I'm going to help you profit. But this is the bigger reason that I get out of bed in the morning, and it's this project to save veterans' lives. So do me a favor, sit back, relax, strap in, and I want to show you a little bit of a sneak peek of what we're gonna of what our No Fallen Heroes project is all about. Make sure you turn up your volume. You ready? Here we go. All right, so that's our No Fallen Heroes project. We're in the process of shooting this documentary. We're in the process of helping other veterans heal, and I am really. It's just incredible. I'm humbled and honored, and that God has put me on this path because it's awesome. I love helping people. Love helping people figure out how to trade, make money, and I love people figuring out how to help themselves. So, all right, let's go ahead and get going. Like I said, I'll tell you how I feel wearing my flight suit, folks. But at the end of the day, this is Gordon Gekko time, man. I'm heartbroken about Ukraine, inflation. People are hurting. Everything's awful in this country. I just saw a poll on TV: 75% in this Pew poll. 75% of Americans think we're going in the wrong direction, which is bad. If you're Gordon Gekko or Whiz acting like Gordon Gekko, it's awesome. It's awesome. Panic, volatility, it's great. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. So I'm glad I got my soul clean because I feel great with God, but I'm also feeling great helping people make money. So, what are options? Let's just start with the most basic because I saw, 20 some people or 20% of the folks here are like, I have no idea what an option is. First of all, you've used an option. I guarantee you've used options before. You just might not know it or think of it that way. Okay. An option is a contract. So an option is actually called a derivative, right? Amazon is the stock. We can trade options on Amazon, right? So we're going to use real estate as a great example here because that's most likely what all of you have done and used to trade options, okay? So most of you probably have heard the term call, right? A call option. A call option is, and it's really simple. I use this analogy because I love it because I actually looked at that house. Let's say you go out to Aspen and you want to buy a home in Aspen with all your options profits, right? You're looking at this home. It's a $5 million home in Aspen, and you're going to be out there for 3 weeks, right? That's the first home you look at. And you're like, I think this is it. The realtor, being pretty smart, says what? Yeah, let's keep looking around. And you're like, well, I don't want to lose this one. Okay. So what do? Tell you what, Mr. Seller, I'm going to give you 50 grand to take this home off the market for the next 3 weeks. I want the right to buy this home during that time at 5 million bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a call option. If you just followed everything that I just said, the next time somebody tells you at a cocktail party that options are dangerous or ooh, throw a drink in their face. That's a call option, folks. Okay? I gave you a date, next 3 weeks, and I gave you a price, 5 million bucks. That's options right there. That's a call option. Now let's talk about what happens. During the 3 weeks, you're driving around Aspen looking at other great homes. Turns out the Department of Corrections in Colorado decides to open a prison literally in the lot next to you. What happens? The value of that $5 million home goes down to zero. Let's just say zero. What do you lose? You lose that 50 grand. That's all you lose. You ain't on the hook for owning that thing, are you? That's the most you can lose trading an option. The most you can lose trading an option, the majority of the time, is what you paid for the damn thing. What's the most you can lose if you bought the house or Amazon? Ladies and gentlemen, stocks can go to what? Say it with me. Zero. Crypto can go to zero. Say it with me. Options, all you lose is that premium. Now let's be happy. You're driving around Aspen for 3 weeks, and Jesus, Ganesh, Buddha, and Muhammad all come back to life, or they're already alive, but they decided to buy the place next to you. And the place goes from 5 million to 100 million. Guess what? Buyer has rights. You have an options contract that says I can buy this house for $5 million. Boom. If you understand what I'm saying to you, you know what call options are. Delete that home and put in Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. That's the stock, ladies and gentlemen. So most of you in this room have employed options at some point in your life. Buying a call option on this home gives you the right, but not the obligation, to buy this house on that date at that price. Now, the option seller, the seller of that home, has an obligation. The seller is obligated to deliver that house to you on that date for $5 million, right? And for that honor, first of all, they get the $5 million, but they also get that 50 grand. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That is a call option. Now, when it comes to options, the last CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange data that I saw a couple years ago, 98% of options aren't exercised. What does that mean? Exercised means I want to buy that house for $5 million. Most options contracts are never exercised. They are traded out of. Here's what I mean. You're driving around Aspen. Your realtor calls and says, Jesus and Ganesh, Muhammad and Buddha moved in next door. Boom. The value of that $50,000 call option is what? It's not priceless, but it's a couple $1 million. You could sell that option to somebody else. You can close that. You don't have to take delivery of the house. So that's what options do. You don't have to take this thing to what's called expiration. Options expire when? When they expire, whatever that contract date is. Tomorrow, when we go live in the market, I'm going to show you what's called an options chain. It looks like an agreement, the real estate agreement I just briefed you on. Okay? So that, ladies and gentlemen, is a call option. Most people buy call options because they're bullish, right? If you wanted to buy 100 shares of Apple today, you'd need what? What's Apple close at? I forget. One options contract equals 100 shares of stock. So you can control, essentially, when you had this $50,000 contract, options contract on their house, you were essentially controlling what? A $5 million asset. This is why they came up with options in the early 70s, right? For people who are like, man, I don't have $5 million to buy that house, but I have 50 grand to buy the contract on that house because I heard a rumor that Jesus is moving in next door. That's the options market, ladies and gentlemen. It is not rocket surgery. It is not hard at all. Now, let's take a look at what a put option is. Americans own three major things, right? They usually own a car, they usually own a home, and they usually what? Have some sort of portfolio, retirement account, 401k, brokerage account, right? Two out of those three assets are required to have insurance unless you own the home outright, right? If you own your own home, you don't need insurance. You have a mortgage, guess what? You have insurance. You live in Florida, Hurricane Alley, you got insurance. So you have home insurance and you have car insurance. Most people don't do what? Insure their portfolio. So that's what we're going to show you tomorrow live in the market, is how to protect your longs, those positions that you're bullish on. So a put option, ladies and gentlemen, you think something's going to go down. As this market goes down and implodes, tomorrow in the market, I will show you that we can buy puts, right? Meaning, if it goes through, again, we're going to have a specified time, a month from now, a week from now. That's the time, and then a price. Time and price make up an options contract. So if you're looking at that chart of the S&P 500 and it looks like it's going off a cliff, and I just said I think the S&P is going lower, we can buy a put option. Remember, buyers have rights, meaning if I buy a put option and the stock goes through that, this is why it's called a put. I have the right to put that stock to the seller of the option. Okay? And I'll show you all this live in the market tomorrow. It's usually easier. But I like talking about the high level stuff right now. So a put option means if something goes down, you can make money. And I guarantee a lot of you in this room that are new to options are like, I wish I had known this back in January. Exactly. It's not too late though, because I do think the market's going to go lower and we can buy some puts. For example, if some of you own stock right now, you own stock in Apple, you're like, man, I don't want to sell it because I'd sell it for a loss or whatever reason you don't want to sell it. But if it keeps going lower, it's going to suck. We can buy some insurance. So if it does go lower, you'll make money on it going down. And then guess what you can do with the money you made on those puts? Buy some more Apple if you're still bullish on it. This is the power of options, folks. And like I said, 98, whatever the percentage was from the CBOE, let's just say almost all options contracts aren't exercised. You trade out of them. Okay? Now everybody give me a vertical head nod. Again, if you know what you're doing, you're a Jedi Master, that was probably like, wow, the most basic explanation. But based on the people who've emailed, texted, and called me over the past couple of weeks, the reason I'm doing this tonight was to explain the basics of options. Are there any questions about options basics? Bottom line, if you buy calls, you're bullish. You think something's going to go up. If you buy puts, you think something's going to go down. And obviously, in this type of environment, buying puts because you think something is going to go down is not a bad idea. Okay? So, not that this needs to be said, but every once in a while, I guess it does need to be said. Stocks, ladies and gentlemen, and crypto can go to zero. All you would lose on an options contract is the premium. It's called a premium, right? Just like your insurance. What do I pay to USAA every month? A premium. The most you can lose is your premium, right? It's like totaling your car. Holy crap, man. That's $100,000 car I just totaled. Thank God my deductible is $2,500, right? Everybody complains about paying their insurance until when? You need it. So this is a great time to be trading options. Now, real quick, always have to get this out there. We definitely lose some battles, man. I'll show you tomorrow a horrible trade on crypto. The guy who's completely anti that space and thinks it's foolish did a crypto trade last month, and it's destroyed. Awful trading on my part. Won't do that again. So let me just be clear. The objective is to win the war, but man, losing trades happen. You have got to know that, right? You got to be pretty good with your time. We're pretty good with our timing here at TOPGUN Options. Like I said, man, I've made career calls that have been turned out to have been, we've nailed a lot of stuff, but losing trades happen, man. I use the Donald Rumsfeld analogy. He had a great quote in his book, or actually he used it in a press conference, but it's in his book. He said, there are known, trading's a form of combat, folks. Somebody's going to win on a trade and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. Which one do you want to be? So Donald Rumsfeld said in combat, and I'll say trading, there are known knowns, meaning there are things we know we know. There's earnings on this date, there's whatever. There's also known unknowns, right? Things we know that we don't know. And then in trading and in combat, there are unknown unknowns. My famous unknown unknown was doing a bearish trade on Google. It is Google. I will never call it the A word ever in my life. Why? Because I put a bearish trade on Google and I went to the gym. I got on the treadmill, threw on Fox or CNBC after the market closed. Breaking news, Google changed its name to the word I'm not going to say. It's just stocks up 5% after hours. You know what I did? I laughed. I lost $5,000, but I laughed. Why? Because there was no way on God's green earth that I knew that they were going to change their name to something that nobody calls them, and that the stock would rally. Those things happen. And if you can't take some of those things, don't even think about becoming a trader or an investor. Put your money in a Folgers can and bury it in the yard. Yes, I'm old enough to remember what a Folgers can is. We used to use the old can openers, man. Those things were lethal. So there are losing trades. They happen. Thankfully, you know what? I haven't calculated my win rate recently. I think Q1, it was like in the low 70s. 70% of the time, our trades are profitable. Most professional traders shoot for 60% because they know over a career that's doing pretty good. Mine's been consistently in the low 70s since day one, man. I track this stuff, trust me. Okay, so how do we trade options? Well, step one, don't do any investing if you don't know what you're doing. Heartbreaking to me to get some of these texts. Instagram message from a guy who hung my TV years ago. Like, hey, man, I know you haven't heard from me in years, but I put everything in whatever name, crypto name, and it's getting wiped out. I'm like, oh my God, man. Oh, it's heartbreaking. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to suck. But this is not hard, ladies and gentlemen. First thing you do, you're going to open a paper trading account. It takes 5 minutes, man. Open a paper trading account with the broker that you're at right now or at E-Trade. I use E-Trade for my trading, for portfolio margining and some other stuff. Plus, it's just, if I'm teaching you how to fly and fight in F-18, it's probably easier if you're flying and fighting in F-18. Once you become a TOPGUN Options member, we do 8 training sessions from training session 1. This is the stock market to training session 8. This is an advanced options tactic. Folks, when I went to Pensacola Naval Air Station as a student naval aviator, it was a building block approach. I went to flight school with a kid from Montana or somewhere up in the middle. Never even been in an airplane before. First flight in an airliner or airplane was in an airliner to flight school. 6 months later, steely-eyed fighter pilot. We're going to take a building block approach with you. So if you're not familiar with the market or options, I'm going to teach you in 8 training sessions. I love these things, man. That was you, Sledge. That's right. Sledge, one of our No Fallen Heroes, man. He did my podcast the other day. He's like, same thing. Never flown in an airplane before. I forgot about that. Now, again, 50 emails over the past couple months. Please help. How much time does this take? Folks, there are some days I don't even look at the market, mainly Fridays because I work on the charity, my foundation, all sorts of stuff like that. Today, I looked at the market probably for a half an hour max. And most of that time was during the live trade brief I did this morning. Solo Amazon was at 10 a.m. We put on a bearish Amazon trade and we put on a bearish S&P 500 trade. And then, before that, I got up, I meditated, I went to yoga. After that, I went to Chipotle. I had a blast today. I went and got an afternoon workout, and then I came back and I looked at my positions, and they were printing money. So this is not day trading. This is not staring at the drool cup. Look at this. So these are the 2 trades we put on today. This one made $2,400, and this trades out to Friday on Amazon. It made $600 today. Let me go over here and show you the orders. There's the Amazon trade, and there's the S&P 500 trade. So these trades, $3,000 today. That took me all of a little bit of time. Okay, so this is not time intensive. Okay, but I'm going to sit here and tell you this ain't like just set it and forget all about it. I will teach you how to manage risk. I'll teach you how to do your trade plan. If you look over in your little control panel over here, you have 2 handouts. You have a trade plan handout. One of them is a 1-pager. The other one is like 12 pages. It's the 1-pager blown up into 12 pages. How about that? Read that. It always cracked me up when I'd go spy on other companies up in Chicago. Every speaker that got up on a stage back when they used to do like live events, like, you have to be disciplined and have a trade plan. I'm like, yeah, can I see yours? Okay, next question over there. Really? So a lot of people pay lip service to, you need to be disciplined and have a trade plan. I give you mine. We use this on every trade. Discipline and risk management equal superior execution. Folks, I'm telling you, there are some days I don't even look, especially with our longer dated trades. With options, folks, you can get bullish or bearish, thinking the market's going to go up or down, 2 years out into the future. So in our accelerated retirement portfolio, we could fly in our time machine out 2 years. Think I look at those 2-year trades a lot? No. What's the point? In this type of market that's very tactical and we're doing these big swings, I might sit here for a half an hour. Now, if you're sitting here like, Wiz, I don't have a lot of time to watch things, well, guess what? This is a throttle. That physically is a throttle. That's an F-18 cockpit, man. That's the throttle right there. You, ladies and gentlemen, are over here. You are the pilot in command. Your options trading can be full-time. It can be a career. We have a lot of folks over in our Max Afterburner group who are retired or just doing this as a full-time, their full-time gig. We have other people who do maybe a trade a week, maybe 2 trades a week. I mean, let's take a look at, again, what I did this morning. Let's go back and look at Amazon. So this trade expired today for $2,400. This trade on Amazon, it's a bearish trade. Let me click analyze. I'm risking $7,600 to potentially make $2,400 by Friday. That's me. I trade a larger portfolio, blah, 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 blah. If you want to risk a couple grand, this was based on 10 contracts. 10 contracts was $7,700 in risk. So maybe you do 2 contracts and it's, I don't know, a grand or something like that. The point being is, if I made $2,300, I did make $2,300. And you know, that's $4,600, folks, potentially in 1 week by Friday. Okay, I'm a political science major, so it's at 4,600 times 52 trading weeks. Anybody in here potentially like making $240,000 in a year? On limited risks too. Let me go look at the S&P 500 trade here. What was the risk on that one? I forget. Look at this one. Today I risked $5,100 and I made $2,400. Again, Wiz, I can't risk 5 grand. Don't do 15 contracts. I can't give you individual investment advice, right? Oh, here it is. Sorry, wrong screen. Here you go. On this trade right here, risking $5,100 to potentially make 24. Okay, again, this is 15 contracts. There are people that do 30, 45, 100. There are people that do 1. I can't tell you what to do. You're getting to eavesdrop and check out what I'm doing. No shit, Mike. Holy crap. I love seeing this, Mike. I'm going to grab that. Look at this, folks. So let me just take a screenshot of the chat box here. And that's year to date, Mike. Look at that. Mike's gone from 100 feeds, doubled his account. Look at that. That's awesome. Sorry, I got to stop. Whenever I get these live testimonials, man, I scoop them up because it makes me smile, and then I can brag about you and me. Case studies. Mike. Awesome, man. Congrats, Mike. That's awesome, man. All right, so again, this did not take a lot of time today. This wasn't tough. Okay. Poor kid, political science major from South Jersey. Got to be honest with you. The 150 members in here, in this group, we have retirees, attorneys, stay-at-home moms. We got AJ Buckley from CBS SEAL Team. we got some really cool people in here, man. We got fighter pilots. We got airline. We got doctors. We've had some doctors in here save other people's lives in here in the height of the COVID thing. We have all walks of life. So folks, don't sit here and be like, oh man, you are the smart money. I'm going to teach you how to do this. Yeah, exactly, Mark. We'll never forget the lawyers. We got some good attorneys in there, but this is not too time consuming. Okay. So I want to dispel that right now. I got to be honest. I'd rather get my teeth drilled than sit here for 8 hours a day and watch the stock market. That ain't how I live my life, man. I like to go flying. I like to go to the beach. I like to work out. I like to spend time with my family. Absolutely not. Will not sit here and trade. So I use acronyms, FMT. How do we trade options here at Top Gun Options? First of all, you have to find a trade. Where do we do that? In our daily live trade briefs. Whiz, I can't attend, man. Guess what? I've had members here for years who don't attend the trade briefs live because they work. Guess what happens? You get a text and email alert, man, whenever I blast out a trade. And we'll get to that in a second. After we find a trade, I'm going to teach you to manage risk. Now, this might seem blindingly stupid, but I'm going to say it anyway because it isn't. What's the first rule of trading? Let's see if we can get an answer here. Let me see if I can get a good answer. Thank you, Mark. I appreciated that. Mike says he's a retired healthcare practitioner. What is the first rule of investing? What do you want to do? Sandra got it. SP got it. The number one rule of investing. Edward got it. Jesse got it. I'm glad. Well, you guys are all plants. Nice job. The first rule of investing is not to lose money. If you're getting ready to type to make money, you're wrong. Here's the blindingly stupid statement that is brilliant. You can't make money if you're losing money. I'm going to teach you how to manage risk in every trade. We're going to look at probabilities. We're going to look at your SOP, what I call your standard operating procedure. My risk SOP is going to be different from yours, and it's going to be different from the millionaires we have here. Everybody's going to have their own SOP, but the trick, not a trick, the discipline is sticking to it. So we're going to find trades in our live trade brief. So I'm going to blast them out via text and email. We're going to manage risk before we squeeze the trigger, and then we're going to stick to our trade plan. Okay. For example, look at this. Here's the text alert that I sent out today at 11:12. Top Gun Options, solo Amazon, bear call spread. How many contracts, when the expiration is, the price. And when I'd maybe bail out of the trade, I call it eject. Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of the text alerts you're going to get. Now, let me go show you this. Here is the email. New solo Amazon bear call spread. The email goes out the same time as I blast out the text alert. I copy and paste the text alert actually at the top of the email. Why? I don't know. Redundancy. And then you can scroll down and there's the trades. I copy and paste the order ticket and the risk into this. Actually, when I sent this trade out, it was risking 64 to make 26. I didn't get filled at that price. So that's pretty interesting. You could have made $200 more than me if you got filled at those prices. So this is an example of what the email alerts look like. I sent out the other trade, the S&P 500 spread today via text. There's the text alert at the top, copied and pasted, and then email. So again, you don't have to sit here at 10 a.m. in the morning and listen to me drone on in a live trade brief. I would prefer you do that, but here's what happens. 20 to 30 minutes after the brief, it takes about that long for the replay to render on my computer. I post it on the member page with the trade and the replay so you can listen to it later when the kids go to bed. Now, you should feel like this. Whiz, I barely hung on to that call and put explanation. I got it. Folks, I didn't hatch an options trader. I hatched a freaking awesome fighter pilot, but not a good options trader. No, I'm serious. I did. No, you should feel like this. That is how I felt in flight school. This is how you should feel now. But this is also why you're going to open a paper trading account and you're going to test fly a couple of these trades. We have 3 manuals for you to start diving into, and we have 8 training sessions. You should feel like this, and then you're going to get that patch, that Top Gun Options patch, and put it on your shoulder. You will not feel like this for long. If you're new to options, this is how you should feel. If you don't feel like this and you're new to options, you might not be smart. You might be actually just like Rain Man, and that's dangerous. So you should feel like this. So don't feel bad, okay? Real quick, our methodology, because tomorrow in the live trade brief, and again, if you can't make it, they're recorded and I'll post on the replay page. This is our methodology. You ready for it? Strategic, operational, tactical. Copy, paste from the United States military. Thank you. What do you mean? Well, everybody who is in this room right now that is not a current TOPGUN options member, I guarantee you, you are a very tactical trader. How many of you, this is why it's great being a TGO, because we have a squadron. You're not trading alone. It was miserable when I was teaching myself how to trade options in the Navy. This was like before Al Gore invented the internet too, man. So you're very tactical. You wake up, put on your bunny slippers, drinking your coffee, watching CNBC. Some dude in a nice suit tells you, buy this with both hands. Okay, I believe him. He's got good hair. And the stock goes to zero the next day. Tactical. At TOPGUN Options, I'm going to teach you to trade strategically first. You got to look downrange. What's going on around the globe? Economically, politically, militarily. Breaking news, a potential nuclear weapon went off in Ukraine. VIX at 100, the volatility index, S&P at 2,000. What about the Greek debt crisis? What about what's going on in China? You need to know what's going on around the world. After we do about a 10-minute brief on what's on all that stuff, we peel the onion one layer and we go operational. What's going on here? Did you see the market last week? Implosion, Jerome Powell. I'm an idiot. Explosion. And then I'm like, it's going to implode again. Implosion. What's going on politically in this country? Bailout packages, this, that, and the other thing. I loved Barack Hussein Obama. Now pick yourself up off the floor. I understand that. Because I loved him and John Boehner, man. Government shutdowns. That was free money. We don't reach an agreement by this date, the government's going to shut down. The volatility index would go up, stocks would go down. Free money. And even though I'd love for this to happen, the government wouldn't stay shut down forever. So once you made your money with volatility going up, and then John Boehner came out smelling like the Marlboro Man with his lip quivering, okay, we're going to open. The volatility would come down and the market would, I loved it. So you have to know what's going on economically and politically in this country. And then finally, once we do a 10-minute brief here, 10-minute brief here, now in my live trade briefs, we're going to get tactical. That's when you can trade. I'm telling you, folks, I've been doing this for 32 years. Most people don't do this and get wiped out. They are just this. And you burn out, man. You cannot be a tactical trader for long. People look at their stocks and are like, oh my God, why am I getting destroyed my stock right now? Oh, there's war in Europe. Yeah, what's that have to do with my stock? Everything. Okay, so I'm going to teach you that this is our methodology. Okay, so tactically tomorrow in the market, I'm going to show you trades, right? After I brief you on what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Folks, I'm going to treat you like you're a general or an admiral. I'm going to be the snotty-nosed lieutenant giving you your intelligence brief, and then we're going to act on that intelligence. Okay, now, oh my God, what's today? May 16th. May 20th of last year was when I did the medicine for the first time. May 16th of last year, this time last year, if I had heard me talking like this in a live trade brief, I would have kicked my own ass. So the end of my presentation tonight is going to be weird for some of you, but it is needed. 90% of trading is emotional. It's emotional. This is why aviators, this is why military folks, this is why, no offense, women are really good traders. Very checklist and analytical. You have your trade plan and everything like that. This is why pilots, if my fuel does this, I do this. Okay, my fuel's this, go do this. It's the times when you don't fly your SOP that you fly into the side of a mountain or something like that. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to tell you right now is just as critical as a trade plan, as managing risk, as all the other stuff that I just covered and I'm going to cover live over the next 2 days. If you are not right here and here, you will be miserable trading. I guarantee you. 90% of this is emotional. I've been doing this for 32 years, man, and it's very emotional. Not for me. There are some times when emotional creep in, but I usually smack myself in the face and get back on target. So, what am I getting at? Here are some things I need you to do if you want to join Top Gun Options. You have got to watch Billions. I can't believe I'm shilling for a show on Showtime. Actually, don't watch Billions now. Watch seasons 1 through 3. Now it sucks. Why? This is actually modeled, folks, on Wall Street. Real life. Axe, Bobby Axelrod from Axe Capital, is Stevie Cohen. I lived Billions, folks. If you want to see what I went through for 3 years in Chicago, watch Billions. Why am I telling you to watch a made-up show? Because it ain't. If you want to see what is going on Wall Street, really, watch this. Don't sit there in your bunny slippers like, oh, well, this trade's not going to go against me because I'm me and I'm a retail trader. One of the partners at the firm I was at was like, Whiz, we use retail traders as cordwood. Their liquidity. This is combat, folks. And that show, I watched it, man. I'm like, oh my God. I was shaking sometimes. I'm like, I'm back. I'm back in Chicago. You have got to understand the environment you're going to be operating in. If you're new to investing, man, Wall Street looks at you as a baby seal and they just want to club you, man. I guarantee you. Watch Billions. This season sucks. Watch it up to this season. Required reading. I'm a reader. I still got books. I need hard books, but there are some things. Whiz, I'm not going to watch Billions. Then order these books. This one's a quick read. When Genius Failed. This will be a screen you want to take a picture of because it's going to show you that there ain't no genius on Wall Street. I already told you, legendary investor Cathie Wood is down 75% year to date. But her other, I don't care. What have you done for me lately? Legendary investors aren't down 75% a year. When Genius Failed goes through the rise and fall of long-term capital management. It will show you behind the scenes in Wall Street what's really going on. You want to see some of these big market moves? You'll see why. This is phenomenal. I read this book in 2 days before I started at that firm in Chicago. This is Michael Lewis is awesome. He's the Big Short guy, right? The Big Short guy. And then The Myth of the Rational Market. The Myth of the Rational Market. These three folks, get them sitting on the beach on an airliner. I mean, I strongly recommend you do this because it was great when we started watching Billions here at Top Gun Options, where we all kind of started watching it together in tandem. People were stunned. I'm like, what do you think I've been telling you? When people can gang up on each other. I mean, what's the name? Paulson, the dude that predicted the housing market crisis. There was a bunch of hedge funds that ganged up on him and almost put him out of business. This happens. Watch Billions, read these. That's enough. Here's also required reading. The Power of Now, A New Earth, and The Four Agreements. Again, I will remind you, if 2008 Whiz and the Board of Trade heard me giving this lecture like this, I'd steal my lunch money. That's why that guy is dead. And this guy is right here. Completely changed my life a year ago with the medicine. My trading, not that I did it to be a better trader, but everything's better. Everything is better. But I'm telling you, the emotion is even less than what it was before. But I got to tell you, man, I feel like Neo in the Matrix. But I'm telling you, if your mind ain't right, you're going to suck at trading. There are times where I have to remind some of my members, I'm like, get up, go outside and go for a walk. Don't look at this for another couple. Just go. There are bigger things in this world than trading. Okay. And if you're looking at a trade, folks, and you're like, that max potential loss, you look at it and go, uh-oh, I better not lose that. You ready for this blinding piece of brilliance? You're trading too much. Okay, now I trade a little bit of a larger portfolio, so $5,000, that hurts, but I'm going to go, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's not going to destroy me. I'm going to teach you how you can size your trades where you can shrug your shoulders and go, yeah, that kind of sucks, but I'm not destroyed. But if you're looking at a trade and it's going against you a little bit and you freak out, that's a red flag right there, man. You are trading too big. I'm telling you, 90% of this is emotional. It's mental. Okay. This is another good one too. I love Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe Dispenza is he's a gift from God. He's just a good dude. I saw that, Goose. I'm hearing the same rumors. Goose is saying, rumor is BlackRock tipped the boat on the Terra crypto slam last week. I heard the same thing, man. Watch Billions and you'll see what's going on in the crypto market. Folks, it's ruthless. One of the reasons I left Wall Street and started my own TOPGUN options is because I have a soul. I felt like I had to take a shower 20 times a day. People were, they would step over their own mother to make a buck, man. The moral. I came from a fighter squadron. I was still flying for the reserves when I went to that trading firm in Chicago. If you didn't trust a dude in that squadron, he was gone. You don't trust a dude on Wall Street, that guy gets promoted. It was awful. It was taking a toll on my mental health being on Wall Street. Now I'm here and I love you guys and I love people. All right. Other things. Like I said, go do some yoga, man. Go do something. 3-4 years ago, at a bottom, at a rock bottom in my life, thank God I'm a pretty good actor and I was hiding most of my problems. Man, I found yoga. Yoga helped my trading. Meditation helped my trading. Not that I'm doing those things to help my trading. They were a spinoff. They were a byproduct of unfornicating me, my mind, my heart, my soul. This is also allows me to look at a lost trade and go, I'm alive. If you're too wrapped around the axle, folks, it's gonna be tough. Okay. This is coming from experience. Remember the SOP, the standard operating procedure we have in the Navy, we unfortunately say that it's written in blood. Why? Because it's written in blood. It was probably a couple pages a long time ago. Now it's that many pages. Why? People did stupid things, or don't do that, or the jet crashes, or the SOP is written in blood. These things are written in blood, folks. If you're not good, you're not going to be good. So meditate. Focus on some breath work. I can put you in touch with our No Fallen Heroes, Director of Medicine Operations, who can help you with your breath work and teach you, train you to meditate. That sounds weird, doesn't it? You have to train to sit still. Yeah, you do. Right? So meditate. And it can always be worse. When I was up in that firm in Chicago, I remember times people would kick my door open like, Whiz, just like out of breath, like, oh my God. And I'm like, did anyone die? And they're like, what? I'm like, did anybody die? They're like, well, no, the quotes aren't getting from the Philadelphia Exchange to the traders. I'm like, again, did anybody die? They're like, no. I'm like, then calm the fuck down. If nobody died, things are okay. Because I come from a world where, guess what? People did die. So do some required thinking. If you're trading and you're freaking out, you're doing it wrong. But also remember, at the end of the day, if you have a bad trade, you get to close your laptop and go home to a loved one or your dogs or your cats or whatever. Other people did not, where I come from. It can always be worse. Okay? So think about that. Do some required thinking, because tomorrow at 10 a.m. and Wednesday at 10 a.m., it's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. I'm going to treat you as if you're a current TGO member. We're going to have a couple hundred members in our room tomorrow, and you guys, all the potential new folks. Okay? So do me a favor. download the trade plan that's in the chat or the whatever box over there. It says handouts, and it's got the 1-page trade plan and the 12-page trade plan, and it's going to be good. Let me get in here and look at some questions, concerns, smart remarks. Waking up is a great meditation app. Kathy, I've heard that. It's a good. That's good. I'm a meditation fiend now, and I just can't believe I've gone without it. Do me a favor, if you get a chance, you can stop by tonight. Go take a look at. Don't listen to me. Go look at our Trustpilot reviews. Go look at our Facebook reviews. I think there's like 200 Facebook reviews on there. Scott, what's up, my brother? So I did ibogaine and 5-MeO DMT. Okay, so the medicines that I did were called ibogaine, ibogaine, and 5, the number 5, MEO DMT. But here in South Florida, we have folks that do veterans retreats using psilocybin, mushrooms, obviously, but it's called psilocybin. We have another Veterans Foundation that takes guys down to Peru and they do ayahuasca. So there are a couple different plant medicines that folks are using for healing. But man, I did the, you know what? Thank you for asking that, Scott. Max Afterburner podcast. If you guys go on Spotify, on iHeart, on Stitcher, on Apple Podcasts, if you're interested, not to totally get off topic, but I am, because I care more about helping souls and bodies than I do portfolios now. Episode 7 of my podcast, I debrief the medicine for the first time. So I debrief the ibogaine and my 5-MeO DMT journey. So let me give you the link to this if you're interested. Listen to this podcast if you're interested in the medicine work that we're doing. So that one, I debriefed the medicine the first time I did it. And then episode 17 through 19 is when I did the medicine again for the No Fallen Heroes movie, our documentary. There's a shift coming, folks. This is coming. This is the internet in 1999. You know something massive is coming, and you just don't know how big it's going to be. I guarantee this is the only sector, folks, the only sector that I'm bullish on. Brian, what if everyone would read God's living word and sought him, the Bible? Brian, I could not agree more. God is great. God is everywhere. God is everything. I think, Brian, you were, or if you listen to my podcast, the oneness that I had with source, with truth, with God, with light. Scott, you'll appreciate this. I got to see Monica, my sister who was killed by a drunk driver, and I got to see my dad. And I know exactly where they are and how they're doing. It was the most spiritual experience of my existence. 54 years. It changed my life. It's just absolutely incredible. But yeah, I mean, Brian's got to put, you don't have to do plant medicine to find God, but when you're a fighter pilot and you need some radical healing, that's exactly what I needed. So, Skip, is it time to buy Amazon? Let's talk about that tomorrow, man. Live in the market. We will cover Amazon, but you know what? Before we go, let's go take a look at Amazon. So the immediate answer to your question is yes. But you said, is it time to buy Amazon? I haven't given you a time yet. The answer is yes, it's time to buy Amazon. It's when? Not right now. We got lower to go. I think Amazon can see 2,000. And it's getting ready to split. I think we split in a couple weeks, like June, is it D-Day? Like June 6th or something like that? Holy shit, I went for an hour and 21 minutes. I did not mean to go that long, guys. Let me pull up Amazon. Because I have a bear call spread on Amazon. So, but let's take a look at, I think I said 2,000. But yeah, I mean, guys, the Amazon ain't going anywhere. And if you loved Amazon, if you liked Amazon at 3,800, you love it at 2,200. So the answer is yes. I'm going to get into all these names, guys. We are going to 6 June, D-Day. There you go. Amazon Day. We'll talk about this, man, but Amazon's a buy. I always say this. When in doubt, run to Ma. Whenever you're scared, run to Ma. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. Except for right now. We're going to, for the near future, the next 30 days, continue to pound the market into the dirt. And then when there's a bottom, it'll be time to start looking at these names. But let me repeat this again. Let me bring up the S&P 500, SPX. And I think, geez, I heard Morgan Stanley say S&P 34, this is pre-scandemic, folks. This is the plandemic, scandemic. That's a lot of ugly airspace here, folks. Morgan Stanley came out with a note this afternoon that said S&P 3,400 by the end of the year. That is a lot to the downside, folks. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to talk about buying puts. We're going to talk about how to do bearish trades with options or how to protect what you currently have if you don't want to get rid of it. So we're gonna cover all that stuff tomorrow. But man, we have much. If we don't hold here, folks, on the S&P 500, it's down to here again. As Whiz, I hate that. I don't want people getting hurt. 401ks being 101ks. As Gordon Gekko, I hope it goes down to here because we deserve it. The Federal Reserve. So folks, look at this. Let me just draw this and then I'll let you go. Sorry I'm going long, but I'm very passionate about what I do. This was the trend of the market. This was all bullshit. So we're just kind of correcting back to where we should be. Okay, the Fed taking away the punch bowl. We're having a tantrum right now. That's what's going on, right? So yeah, Mark, good point. So I trade SPX. A lot of you might trade SPY, which is an ETF. We'll talk about why I trade SPX versus SPY maybe tomorrow. Okay, but yeah, good point. And thanks for pointing that out, Mark, because guess what? You can see more of an outside move on SPY. So it's time to come back to normal. If you're getting hurt right now, you're here for a reason. God put you here for a reason because you're going to get help. But if you're hurting right now, I'm going to tell you how to stop that bleeding and how to potentially profit. Okay, because I like this. As Gordon Gekko, I want pain, I want volatility, I want implosion. But guess what? Like I said, if you want a friend, get a dog. But that's also why you got to be good with yourself and be centered and everything like that. Okay. Sorry I went late tonight, guys. Again, I'm passionate about what I do. These welcome aboard briefs, I usually go a little bit longer. Tomorrow, I keep to my time, man. We're a military operation. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the welcome aboard brief. I just wanted to let you know who I am, Top Gun Options, a little bit of the history, what I'm doing right now, because it's weird to me that people show up to these things. I get invited to do these speeches all the time, like 9 speakers on Saturday. You got a 30-minute slot. I'm like, if anybody buys anything from me after 30 minutes, they're a fool. Are you serious? So I'm one of the only guys in the industry that doesn't do that. I open the doors. Come see what we're doing. This is one of my live brokerage accounts, man. This is real money right here. This is good stuff. There's my shitty crypto trade, and I deserve that, but self-flagellation. So, all right, guys, 10 a.m., bright and early tomorrow morning. If you can't make it, here's the replay page. If you got in here late tonight, I'm going to go have a glass of wine, and then I'm going to post this on the replay page. Okay, so let me paste this right here. There's the replay page. If you're super bored, you can go read. You can go watch the briefs from January where what? Get long volatility now. That was February 1st. Good call, Whiz. All right, guys, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day, night. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. I'm going to teach you how to hedge and fights on. Namaste and God bless. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow morning. We'll see you.